So I just went to see Solo, and I thought that I was going to be super disappointed at this point in time because, not going to lie to you, I'm one of those guys who think that Last Jedi and The Force Awakens are the biggest disaster pieces to ever be, put on Star Wars. Absolute disasters, piece of trash films. Absolutely hate them. So good. All the people that don't care to watch this video, that I don't care if I'm getting your views, you've already left. Great. So for the people who are still here, there'll be maybe minimal spoilers, but all in all, I thought that I was gonna go out and waste $12 because honestly, it's been tick for tack ever since Disney took over. And the only Star Wars movie I liked out of these new ones so far was Rogue One. And because it was what it was. They weren't trying to force it to be something awful like they have with the other movies. They're really, really trying. So I'm just going to get into it. I really liked it. Overall, you should go see it. I do not think it's a disappointment. I think it really sticks to its guns, and it does George Lucas proud. It just really adds overall. And when I say it adds, I mean, most importantly to me, it's a good story. I felt like the other stories, plots added nothing. Okay, the stories and plots in Last Jedi and Force Awakens added basically nothing. Okay? Nothing to the Star Wars series at all. I feel like they are just adding on to sell extra Stormtrooper toys and whatever, sell tickets because of Star Wars, and just hit your nostalgia points and just drive that home. And I think that's trash. I think it's a disgrace. But anyhow, I've harped on that enough. But so Solo, this first one, it's a very, very good story. So minor spoilers in here. But it covers the beginning of Han Solo, where we see him as a young man, and he's basically under the rule of this swamp rat junker, just sort of evil. I don't know what to explain her. Slug. She's like a Jabba the Hutt snake, right? And he is trying to get off of this planet with this girl, and there's this kind of love story forming here. And all he wants to do is be a pilot. Obviously, all he wants to do is be a pilot, and he's really good at hustling people, or really good, but he gets into situations or whatever. He gets off of the planet that he's on, but he ends up leaving the girl behind, and all he wants to do is get back to her, and that's kind of where the story starts. So he ends up trying to be a pilot because he's kind of illegal. He's a illegal alien basically off this planet. So somehow he gets into the Imperial Academy to become a pilot, and that's cool. But then he ends up being an infantryman, ends up deserting. Anyhow, when you see it, you'll get it out. But it covers this really cool backstory of about it's probably 4 or 5 years, I think, in the developing point in time. It covers how he meets Chewbacca, which is pretty neat overall, because Chewbacca's an interesting character. Obviously, he doesn't say much. Well, when he says it, no one understands what's going on. But it covers that. It covers how he meets Lando Calrissian. It ties up everything that we don't know about him. Okay, and the whole story overall makes sense because in the story, he gets off that planet. He's trying to get enough money to go back for the girl. He ends up coming back and finding the girl in this whole smuggling thing that he's on. They go to, basically do this job, this smuggling, the stealing of these minerals. And then there's all this crap that happens along the way, as you'd expect, right? And then I won't spoil the end for you. I really won't, but the end is great. Makes sense. It forms his character all the way out. It shows you why in the sequels, when you see Han Solo's character, he doesn't trust anybody, you know what I mean? And he still doesn't, especially not he'll dip out and then come back, and you don't really know where his priorities are. It's because you see the level of like double crossing and crazy stuff that happens with all these added characters that are in this movie. And so with that, the new content, okay, so one of my major rips on Force Awakens and The Last Jedi is, yes, there were new things, right? I think they were very cheaply done. They mostly recycle stuff. For Force Awakens, they recycled everything, okay? They didn't put like a single new piece of, no new ships, not really any new characters. The new characters they made, whatever, they were just written out on paper. I'm talking like quality production of new Star Wars stuff that could like be made into a Lego set that's actually like interesting. Or, characters like Darth Maul that are just sick, stuff that you have to put on a drawing board, not something that you can just be like, you look like that person, we'll have you be here and put on this mask. This mask has been worn before in the other Star Wars movies. They've got all these new, not all that much, let me be fair. Not all that many new ships, but the ones that I saw were new. Obviously, the Millennium Falcon is still there. It's a piece in the movie. Han Solo doesn't have it yet because he's like piss broke whenever he has it. Okay, they've got pretty much all of the hardware you see in there, all the ships, pretty much everything is new, or if it's old, it stays like the same. It's not some like twisted new version of that. It's got characters that are new, okay? The villain in the movie, the main bad guy, he's like, he's basically working for like, I'm not gonna tell you who he's working for, but he's an evil guy. He coordinates all these smuggling jobs and then sells that stuff to the Empire. The villain's really great. He's really scary looking. I forgot the actor's name, but he's insanely good actor. He's not like a gimmick. I felt like Snoke was like a super gimmick, super weak. You didn't know anything about the dude, and he was supposed to be like this, Sith power or whatever. This guy, he's just a really scummy, evil, like money is the bottom line type of dude who works for smugglers all the time. He's like pure evil, and he's great. That in itself, all of the characters that they had were awesome. And then also Danny Glover, right, fit Lando Calrissian like to a T. Like when you see him in this younger portrayal in this movie, like when you see him in the sequels, you see him and you're like, this is the younger version of that older character that we see later on. So it's spot on. It is the same for Han Solo too, and I didn't think it would be because I'm looking at the characters that they have on the posters, and they don't look like it, but their acting is on point to, accurately portray a person that they are not in their, just overall their acting is very, very, very good of catching this younger, they like the same person, you know what I mean? So it was not a jump at all to sit there and be like, yeah, pretty good job on that. Okay, so yeah, like I said, it just builds the backstory for all of Han Solo's character development. Everything was like it made sense. Everything tied in. There were no loose ends, and there were also a lot of characters that came in. They served their part, and then they like died along the way, right? But they were good actors and actresses. I think the main character in Westworld, forgot her name, but she's the main one who realizes that she's cognizant or whatever. If you've watched Westworld, she's in there, really good. And then key thing for me, there was no forced humor. So I thought that they were going to have, you know who they are. Disney was going to have an absolute heyday with this and just wreck everything to do with this movie with little jokes and little things and some cute animals and all this crap. And you know, just put in a bunch of Han Solo. Hi, I'm Han Solo. I smuggle stuff. I don't know what they were gonna do, but I thought it was gonna be just super fishy, and it wasn't. It was the same type of kind of dry, but you know, clever Star Wars humor that we've been used to in all the movies except for the terrible pieces of filth that have been produced in the past little bit here. So that was key. Although there were some, you know, genuinely funny bits, but like, you know, it's like when you know, all the other Star Wars movies, the original ones, let's say, the prequels and the sequels, you watch those, and if there's something in there, you're like, oh, that's pretty, you know, that was meant to be comedy. It's because it's clever, right? It's not because it's dumb. It's not because they're prank calling an Imperial starship for, you know, with weak comedy, you know, built in there. Anyhow, that was one of my most hated scenes there. Yeah, all of the characters, they just really served their part, for sure, in a lot of ways. There's no like unnecessary characters that came in there that were just, why is this person here? They're sucking time out of the movie. They're going to a planet to gamble for 45 minutes. What's going on here? You know, I don't know if that sounds familiar or anything like that, but definitely a good movie. I'm just going to wrap it up. You should go see it. I'm glad that I did. And I'm looking forward to, I guess there's going to be more of these. And that's cool because they weren't trying to shove lightsabers in anybody's hand in this movie. And that was refreshing. You know what I mean? Because Star Wars stories do not have to involve Jedi, and they can still be super good. And that's what this is proving. Because, and obviously Jedi are awesome, but lately what's been happening is they've just been trying to shove a lightsaber in everybody's hand, just do a bunch of dumb stuff with the storyline of the main Jedi, and just screw it all up overall. And they didn't do that here, so we'll see how it goes forward. They still have room to screw it up. Obviously, the last time that when I saw Rogue One, I was like, oh, well, you know, they made The Force Awakens. That's only one bad movie. I'll still go see the next one, you know, maybe they're coming back around. And then I just got like absolutely shattered. I was just amazed that they had done what they had done with The Last Jedi. I mean, it was just probably one of the worst bits of cinema to ever drop. So I'll stop saying that. I'll stop ranting. But check it out. You'll definitely like it. Or maybe you won't, but you probably will.